In this video, we are building a new minivan interior for Kangoo, only by reusing and upcycling old materials. I have never done this before, but don't worry, my dad is a helpful carpenter and together I think we can make this work. April has been warm and sunny. The snow has melted and it's time to prepare for minivan summer life in the Arctic. Kangoo has been a work van all winter and he desperately needs a spring cleaning, fitting interior, indeed a full makeover. I have creative plans for him. I'm visioning a rustic and practical interior. It has to be easy to assemble and dismantle. I will only reuse and upcycle old materials, and I want a cozy and homey atmosphere, like being out in nature. Let's get started. This old mosquito net is ruined and has to be taken out, but tangled within it are my LED lights. And look at this. The one thing I was sure I was going to avoid by being extra careful. Well, that's that. For the foundation, we use OSB plates. This was the only new and unused material we had to get for this project. The original measurement of the plates are 240 centimeters long, 60 centimeters wide, and they are 15 millimeters thick. Of course, they don't fit the van out of the box, but almost. We only have to cut the length of the plates down to 195 centimeters. How hard can it be?
Ta den tilbake.
Ja.
Du så vel bare på den bøyla?
Ja, for jeg mistet den å syne.
For bladet er langt inni der.
Ja, så jeg må være helt sånn over, liksom.
Ja, du må ha sånn at du ser.
Ja. Ok, da prøver jeg på nytt igjen.
Well, that went just perfect. My dad has an electric planner, and if you got the tools, you need a reason to use them, right? takes some fine-tuning to get the plates perfectly fitted, because the interior walls are slightly curved in the car. Now that we had the foundation done, it was time to move on to the next phase, building the actual bed.
Ja, bare katt der. Helt ned.
We begin the bed construction with some old panel boards. The dimensions of the top frame is 80 times 195 centimeters. But since the car is slightly curved, we take the frame in and out several times to fine-tune it. I also want to make sure my IKEA boxes can fit snugly underneath the bed. But even more importantly is it to make sure I can get to the door handle after the bed is built and installed in the car.
Går den inn der nå? Ja, for den kommer akkurat på den der døråpneren. Det som gjør det.
Ja, det løfter du sånn.
Ja.
Ok, så der må vi kappe ut mer. Men først skal jeg ha den bare der. For her er det ikke noe.
Nei.
In between van building, I steal a few moments to appreciate how nature is coming to life all around me. The first flowers, leaves, and these amazing mushrooms. We call them raklebeger in Norwegian. The next step is to make load-bearing walls between the bottom plate and the top frame. We decide on 35 centimeters to be the best height. This will make room for boxes underneath, and it would also make sure I can sit comfortably upright in the bed. We use 22mm thick chipboards for the load-bearing walls. Since the car walls are slightly curved, we have to saw the load-bearing boards into roughly the same shape.
Det blir lite ladding på den der.
We are making good progress with the base frame, but then the leftover screws we are using turns out they are just a few millimeters too long, and this can cause problems. It will tear up fabrics and stuff I store under the bed, so we have to take them all out, cut the edge off and screw them back in.
Au! Drittan inn!
After reworking all the screws, we put in the floor molding and make sure the boxes will still go in and out. And now it's time to start working on the top plate of the bed.
Så vi legger inn her.
This is even more curvy than before. If we put the plate above the wheel framing, it would be so high I could not sit comfortably upright. So we have to make it fit just right.
Det er jo helt flush her, ja.
Ja. Det ser bra ut.
Jeg kan sage ut litt der så hun går helt framme.
Now, before we fix the top plate to the frame, we need to take care of this last part of the framing. Make it solid and sturdy.
Sånn kan det gå.
Skal vi kutte den i samme...
Ja... Eller om vi kan kappe den lenger inn, kanskje. Vi får se litt. Hvis vi da legger en god til.
We decide to add another board to the framing. The board has some bulks, uneven surface, but not worse than I can fix it with the planner.
Kan man bruke 30 skruer kanskje?
Ja.
Har det mye igjen av det?
Ja, de står her.
Du ser, faen, den kommer ikke i veien, den der. Nei, det er såpass nu.
Kanskje vi må runde av den der også litt?
Ja, det tror jeg. Ja, men det kan vi gjøre når plata ligger på, så sager vi den.
Likens, ja, det er merket fra plata.
Satan tok en feil bits. Hvis man har mer enn 2 bitser i lomma, så tar man aldri den rette først.
Skal du ha den?
Jeg skal bare ut noen millimeter. Det satt seg så fast. Jeg har jo rekkehjelmen.
Nei, det går ikke an å dytte. Men da er den sånn den skal være da?
Nei, det skal være flush her. Helsike har sugd seg fast. Vært en halv millimeter til.
With the last screws in the top plate finally done, it's time to test the space. Turns out to be long enough, but it's kind of hard, so let's start fitting the mattress. To cut the edge of the mattress, I use a regular bread knife, and that works well enough. I finish off this day with some improvised dance moves. And Dad goes down to the ocean to catch a sea trout. Well fed and satisfied, I'm eager to start the third day of Minivan upcycling. Today is about finishing touches, starting with the bed rail. I want to keep the rustic feel with the old wood, so I sand off more of the paint and round the corners. I am very happy with the result. What do you think? But now I have to sand down the floor molding too. Should have done this before it was screwed to the floor, but it's not too big of a job. Sanding of the molding is done. Now let's fit the bed rail and see the result.
I helvete så var det en tredje bits imellom. Faen!
And there! With the final screw and the carpenter part done, it's time to move on to coating, decorating and finishing touches. The final result turned out to be even better than I could have imagined. And with all the help from my dad, it only took 3 days from start to finish. I need to go for a test run and a sleepover to see how it all works. There's always some tweaks and adjustments that needs to be done, and you don't see them before you actually start using it. I'm not going to drive far away. It's lovely weather this weekend, and most places turns out to be already taken. And the plot I find, it's not very flat, but it works for this mission. I also want to check if I can make my side tent fit on the back doors, since that's the main way in and out, and the only door that can always be trusted to open from inside of the van. I do learn that my side tent is actually easier to put up from the back of the car, and that's really good. After a long and successful day, I treat myself to a beer. And I find a new place to keep my glasses for the night. The next morning dawns with bright sunlight, and I set up my outdoor kitchen to make coffee.